Hello everybody, welcome to the February Patreon Q&A. Thank you to all the patrons of this channel who help support it and make it possible. We're going to get straight into it because I want to try and do this quickly because we normally take forever. Lonely Wally UK says, how dry is Gandhi's flip-flop? Ghosty says, how dry is Gandhi's flip-flop? And a copyright says, how dry is Gandhi's flip-flop? Jess Fox says, how dry is Gandhi's flip-flop? These are members of the Discord. This came up about a month ago now. We were just chatting about stuff, being nerdy as usual, and someone said something about Gandhi's flip-flop, and I think I or someone else said, well, how dry is Gandhi's flip-flop? Which then led into an hours-long piece of research with pretty good work, I would say, scientifically, using both, you know, moisture per square inch information, plus actually looking at Gandhi's flip-flops, which are for sale and were bought for about 50,000 American dollars. There is about 5.3 grams per pair of Gandhi's flip-flops of moisture, of water.
What, now? Or when he was wearing them?
That I can't remember. Right, so if you would like to be part of this insanity, please join Patreon, which gets you into Discord. Right.
Hippo Drones says, to you both, if you had to swap hands and feet or arms and legs with each other, which would you choose and why? Well, for me, I think hands and feet wouldn't make a difference because I can pick things up with my feet.
This is true, we can both pick things up with our toes, but I wouldn't have to try and do everything with my toes, but then I could adapt. I honestly think leg and arm swap. Sorry, yeah.
But also, if you couldn't
just walk
punch
the other way
someone,
around.
You couldn't punch someone, right? But you could go
kick them
in their face.
Roger Palmer, what's your favourite hot sauce? I just ordered some Dave's Insanity Scorpion pepper sauce. I don't really have a favourite hot sauce. I mean, I suppose Tabasco is quite good to be added into stuff, but generally I prefer smoked chili mayonnaise type stuff. It's tasty. Oh, there's another one for Roger Palmer. If you could own otters, how many would you have? None. They'll bite your fingers off. They won't stop making noises and they smell.
An army of them outside somewhere.
But they're cute.
They are very cute. Mephisto says, dear Sprino, question for both, as it probably differs. If for whatever reason you could only own one game, one movie and one book for the next 10 years, which book, game and movie would you pick?
I hate these questions. I can't ever answer these. It's impossible. GTA 5, maybe, because you can just do other things on it. One movie. I generally watch films once. If I really like it, I'll watch it twice. I cannot rewatch films because I know exactly what's going to happen. I remember most of the script. And it just, there's no suspense, no surprise, and none of the original enjoyment for me. So, for whatever reason, well, okay, I'm going to assume we're in a desert survival situation and I want a desert survival book.
Game, probably Spyro, because that's one of my favourite games. Movie, I'm not sure. There's too many I like. I used to watch The Goonies, was one of my favourite movies I watched like a million times over. And book, maybe, I don't know. There's too many I like.
Vinny O'Farrell, can you help me with my maths homework, please?
I won't, I'm terrible.
To be fair, if you get in the Discord, there has been some study mornings going on, some people helping each other with things. It has been very interesting as sort of the oldest person in there to be sort of helping and advising people who are just starting out in life.
Juji Gatame says, how do I find a garage to rent in southern England, or am I doomed for a life of keeping my bike on the street?
Pretty much doomed for the rest of your life, unless you can get a house with one or something like that. This is our future of where we're getting our own place and having a garage to be able to continue doing the sorts of things that I do now is a major problem for me and a massive trigger of anxiety, and it makes me want to just give everything up and go and do a job somewhere else because what hope have I got? Moving on to something more positive. Dear Ricey and Sprino, what is your most memorable moment in school, college, uni? For example, mine is when the whole class started to bring in wireless speakers and hid them in places around the classroom. And then they would start to play songs that may or may not be appropriate for school for weeks on end. That ended up making the teachers so incredibly annoyed that that we had to turn in our phones to him for the entire class, although only a quarter of us did.
I have too many like this.
Most memorable moment in school.
I have so many.
Unfortunately, most of my memorable moments in school were not good ones.
That's the difference.
Like being dragged by 2 teachers by my ankles across grass and a short section of concrete because they didn't want to listen to me when I said, I'm sorry, I have a lot of problems with it. It's because all the development growing up issues, like, you know, all the growth hormone shit I was on. I had problems with my muscles. I was also really big. I was overweight. And the shoes I had didn't fit. And I said, look, they just don't fit. So they thought they would just pick me up by my legs and drag me out of school. This day and age, they would have lost their jobs.
Yep.
And blah, blah, blah. But now, yeah. Good memorable moments from school. Leaving.
I have too many. I wouldn't be able to answer it. I'd have to make a whole video about it, I think. London KTM Rider says...
How dry is Gandhi's flip-flop? You know, KTM, because you are one of the people who you spend most of the time doing the research.
Sploosh says, hi, Spicy and Reeno. Spicy, are you planning on doing another restoration series like on Derek? If so, do you have a certain bike in mind, or will it just be whatever you can get your hands on? Might be cool to do a cruiser/chopper style bike for funsies.
Not into cruisers or choppers myself. So there'd be no passion to it. I just like building a bike that I thought someone else might want, if I'm going to be completely honest. I would like to do another build, though being completely honest with you, it most likely would be a 125 for the fact that it will be the cheapest option.
Yeah.
That's something I'm currently having to sort of think about and stuff, because obviously people have been really enjoying me doing all this work to my bikes, but I now have a fully restored DRZ and I have a nearly fully restored XJ6. There is going to be no more work to do. So if I want to do any more of those sorts of videos, I'm going to have to somehow organise, like, getting hold of a bike. I think if I can get a bike, all the other bits and pieces, like getting parts and things, I've got that structure of it in place. But equally, do I want to keep building my channel down a line of doing mechanical stuff when, as I said earlier on, I may not have a garage in the future?
Yeah.
If you can't tell, it's currently going tickety-tick in my brain. John George Bolton, hope you are both okay in these hard times. What's your view on motorcycle seat navs? Sat navs, I think they mean. Once the XJ is all up and running, would you be looking to doing some touring? People always ask me about touring. I've been on YouTube for 10 years. I'm not a touring rider. Yeah. I'm not even a group rider. I like riding motorcycles. It's a selfish thing. I like getting on a bike by myself and going for a ride. That's how I am most fulfilled by motorcycles. I do enjoy the odd thing. I wouldn't mind doing some touring, but logistically that's very difficult to do and make videos. And people say, oh, you just get a laptop. Get a laptop that can edit. It's going to cost me like
a lot
1,500 quid, something like that. So then I couldn't do it on the go, and it.
Roboninja 300 says, hey Spicy, hey Reeno, I hope you're both doing well. Really enjoying the rebuild series on Divi. It's so cool and interesting to watch. My question is, what word would you use to describe each other?
Small. Cute. Nuts.
Funny, very tall, and crazy in a good way.
I think that's more than one word, but otherwise we're just going to go small.
Very kind and big. Caring. Yes, small,
big,
tall,
tall.
Long boy. He is a long boy and I am small.
Ben F. Hello Reeno Spice. If both of you could hypothetically give advice to your younger selves 10 years ago, what would you say? Me, I'd have said, take up biking now rather than leaving it till later. 10 years ago, I was starting out on YouTube. Probably I would... Right now, that's not a great question, because I could have said 10 years ago, don't do it. You're going to put 10 years into something and it may end up putting you in a more difficult position in life later. Or I might have said, do it because you're having so much fun and enjoying your life so much more than you are now.
Exactly. I find these difficult because the way that you are now and who you are now was all built on what happened in the past. So if you go back and change any of it, then you could be living a completely different life now. So I wouldn't say anything. Plus, I might not have even listened, or I might have done it wrong anyway, because I've not changed much. Well, actually, I have. James Johnston says, hey there, Lord Reeno and Queen Spicy. Oh, I like that. I was wondering what I would have to do to get a Vstrim 650 on an A2, as I've seen a site where it says I can have one stock, but I don't think so. Also, what's the best tips for not dying in this country?
SV650 depends on what year, whether it's the old one or the new one. If it's a new one, it has a CDI flash or change which restricts it. The old ones have throttle stops, so all you have to do is either get throttle stop fitted or have this ECU done, so it's basically the restrict kit fitted to it. For not dying in this country, by what means? If just keep an eye out for everyone, they're nutcases. Nathan L, hi Spicy and Reeno. You might recall in Discord I was talking about Bozozuki motorcycles. The mental Japanese gangs from the 80s with massive seats, exhaust and stuff. Should I do it? Yay or nay? I really like it, but I'm concerned about the attention I might bring. P.S. Did Reeno finally watch Snakes on a Plane? Yes, we did.
Yes.
We
did.
I would probably say nay, because I can't see how you'll get that through MOT when it comes around to getting MOT, depending on what you had in mind to do. I know it might be cool, but I've not seen anyone else do it in the UK, and I feel like that normally leads to it being for a reason.
James the Naked Snake says, hi Ricey, hope you're both doing well. Spicy, what are your thoughts on terraforming other worlds in our solar system when it becomes possible/feasible? And both of you, best pet and most interesting pet?
Best pet was the Mew.
Yes, the Mew.
Very sad about the Mew still. Most interesting, the Mew.
Yes.
That was the
cat.
Big cat that was very popular on this channel. What are my thoughts on terraforming? I think it's an interesting idea. The only planet I know of in our solar system that's even possible is Mars. The rest of them we wouldn't even bother trying. And then how feasible is it? Well, Elon seems to think it's feasible. If someone who I know a lot of people are like, well, Elon Musk, he owns the most forward space company in the world. If I'm going to listen to anyone about it, it's probably going to be that person rather than someone off the internet going, well, I think Elon's wrong. If he thinks it's possible, it may well be possible. That's not to say that it's... I don't know. I think it's a long way away for us. I think we're going to be better off in domes and maybe over a long course of time trying to add an atmosphere somehow or add to the atmosphere. But I do feel like if we're going to be on another planet, it will be in domes.
Like Sandy the squirrel in SpongeBob SquarePants. Glory says, can you fire some of those bullets behind you at each other and let us know which one hurts the most? No. Right, okay. Rob Waters, I'm just going to read the next one. Hi Spicy and Reeno, I hope you are both safe and well. My question to both of you is, have you ever thought of doing a Spotify playlist for us minions to listen to? I enjoy listening to new music or bands from pop to metal, but not rap, while riding, and would be nice to hear your choices. Riding time is a comin'.
I think the problem... it's too personal, really.
Yeah, it's quite personal, but...
I recently, for instance, on Spotify, I've been listening to the Cyberpunk soundtrack. It's about 400 songs, and there's a few that aren't so good, but I really like some of the stuff that's in there. I've kind of developed a new slight taste in certain types of music that wasn't quite there before. So maybe try that out, but otherwise, yeah.
Mine would probably end up being loads of cheesy noughties, 90s and 80s hits, probably.
May Crutch. Hi Spicy and Reeno, how are you diddling? My question is, if you had to make an amusing change to your body for 24 hours, what would it be? What I would do is I would have some flax seeds inserted into both arse cheeks, so that when I twerk my bum, it sounds like a pair of maracas. And still stunned by your awesomeness. You're both a brilliant pair. Cheese out and regards to Nigel. Okay, this is obviously not realistic. I want to go Gadget arms, so I don't have to go somewhere to... I want to reach something and it's over there. I can just go...
I would want to have a male body part that I don't have.
Do you want a penis?
Yeah, I thought I'd keep it like family friendly. Well, penis is.
She wants a penis. Not in that sense.
No, not in that way. Like, because you know what I mean. Like,
basically,
boys,
if she had one, she would just fling it around and wave it about for fun.
Whack it on things. Martini95 says, hi guys, couple of quick questions. How dry is Candy's flip-flop? Second, how is the Whopper Chopper doing? And last but not least, when's the review of the sexy one-wheeled beast you bought coming? Hope you are both doing well and loving the community you've built on Discord.
Hello, Captain. We've covered Candy's flip-flop. The Whopper Chopper is doing okay, but to be fair, because it's not hardened, it does flex a bit. But the advantage is that you can just sharpen it really quickly. So it's doing good, really.
Classic Whopper Chopper.
What was the last thing? We still need to do the sort of, I think it'll be Patreon exclusive of pushing Reeno around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what that's about.
Logistically quite difficult, surprisingly enough. It was. It might be easier now. Philippe M. Hey, Spicy and Reeno. Had a question about changing the colours on my bike. There's no real colour anywhere on the bike apart from 2 fairing pieces, R1200 GS. How much of a hassle is it to get these things changed, reported to DVLA, etc.? What does it mean with insurance? What are the considerations taken into account? The simple answer is you just have to send a letter to the DVLA with your V5 and just update information on it. It says on there about colour change and looks and stuff like that. And just let your insurance company know. You know, like say you have a bike that the only real coloured part on it is 2 fairings and they are red and you change them to blue. Well, obviously now your bike's going to be seen as a blue bike, not a red bike. So yeah. Oh, there's a bit more to it. Do you need someone to check on the bike in an official capacity? Or are they okay with you just tell them the colours change? I think they're okay with you just telling them. It's your bike. You've got no reason to lie to them. There's not like you gain anything by making it, well, apart from red bikes faster. I wanted to black out my bike since it would be so simple to do so. Also, any paint process that we'd recommend. Oh, blacking out a bike, I don't have an issue with it. I rode a matte black bike. Many people would say that's a bad idea. But if it's only a couple of panels, it's only going to make no difference. Depending on what they're made of will change what you want to do. You might find that if they're plastic panels, plasti dipping them or even vinyl wrapping them would be the best thing to do. Because then you may or may not need to actually inform them. I can't remember because it's classed as a sticker. Yeah.
It's reversible as well, isn't it? Ivor George says, hi Spicy and Reeno, how would you rate both your recent bike renovation projects? It seems to me that you've had a lot of difficulty with the last one. How would you recommend that normal people resolve some of the more crazy problems? For example, at what point to go tail between the legs to a dealer with boxes loaded with parts? Thanks.
Never ever turn up at a dealer with a bike in parts in boxes. They will either charge you a fortune or they will tell you to off. Basically, there have been problems, but none of them are really problems. I mean, with this build, for instance, the major issue has been the very, very, very first original order, which had virtually every single part in it. There was a few mistakes in there. Doing it while we were going through COVID and doing it while Brexit was going on, and importing problems is still a problem to this day. Like the cush drives are still stuck out the country. I would say don't do it at a time that logistics in the UK have gone to nothing. However, when you mean like when do you... A good example would have been for me, with the first build, the only thing I went to a professional for was the suspension, because I went through the suspension, found what I thought was the issue, found the parts, realised the cost of those parts versus going to a professional who can service them for a charge. If I change 2-3 parts and find they're not the right ones to fix the issue I was having, that then means it's more expensive than having him do it, and he can change just the parts that he's changing because he knows what he's doing. So that's when I would say go to professional. Or if you don't attempt a job that's life-threatening, like, you know, rebuilding brakes or something like that. You've never done it and you're really not confident and you haven't researched it, then that's something you need to really, you know, it's your life on the line. But as it turned out, like with my suspension, it was the part that I thought it was, and rather than paying £20 for that part and doing it myself, I ended up paying about £120 to have someone tell me it was that part and then get it for me. But then equally, I couldn't get the part, so you win, you lose. At the end of the thing is, I just saw it at the end of that long project, that build, that it was quite expensive. That was absorbed into it as like it bought me time back rather than messing around with it. But yeah, hopefully that has answered all of your questions. You have no more questions about the moisture levels of Gandhi's flip-flop or the sanity of the people on my Discord. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you to everyone who helps support this channel, whether that be liking videos, subscribing you only do that once, don't you? But liking videos regularly.
Bye.
Sniff.
Sniff, sniff.
Sniff.
Sniff,
Sniff. Sniff. Sniff.